This is Ezekiel from Annex Suspension, and today we have this X-Gab Racing N2 wide body car from right here in Northern California. Longtime owner of this X rally car is none other than NorCal native Dirk Edwards. Dirk has owned this car for a very long time, I want to say since 1985. And again, this is an X-Gab Japan rally car, I believe. Dirk has so graciously supported us by equipping this car with Annex ClubSpec Pro. He's running 9K and 6K spring rates. This car was previously corner balanced, but it needs a little bit of help with the rear setup, so that's what we're here to do today. I'll walk you guys through how to assemble the true rear coilovers and then also how to adjust them. So yeah, let's get started. We got our coilover stack up. You got to disassemble true rears before you install them in the car. So I already got my bushings with the insert, and I just squeezed the two bushings inside the car, so that's stuck up there right now. Get our helper spring, helper adapter, the skinny side goes up. Okay, swift spring, we're running a 6K in the back. Again, this is AE86 CSP. So NVH isolator, there's the plastic spring isolator on bottom. And then you can see it's too tall, right? So when you install it, you kind of got to squeeze the helper spring down to get you the threaded length. And then yeah, the smaller washer, there's two washers, a big one and then a smaller diameter one. Bigger one's inside the car, smaller one fits right on top of this guy. So I'm gonna put this guy inside, we'll come back. And so I got my completed assembly in here. I just used the impact on that top 17mm. Yeah, this bottom bolt that secures the shock, highly recommend some blue Loctite. We're just gonna put a hair of blue Loctite and then torque this guy to spec. You absolutely don't want this guy backing out on you. Cool. So I have my bump stop height set on this guy, so that means we're going to lock our bottom lock ring to the 90 foot-pounds that we spec out. How do we adjust ride height? We're gonna use these top two perches. And we're gonna move these up and down to raise or lower the car. So once you set bump stop height, don't ever touch this bottom lock ring again. Oh, got my well-used spanner. One of my favorite things about the Annex lock ring is that scalloped face of it, so that this guy both can hook on and self-center, because I've had these slip a lot and I've hurt myself a lot and I'm tired of it. Cool. One-handed. Try that with another coilover brand. Bottom one's torqued. Let's take the other side out, stack everything up, and then the last thing we'll do, we'll set ride height. Alright, so getting ready to stack up all our stuffs on this coilover. You guys with Corollas probably know these Panhard braces are great for grip, but they suck to take on and off. So here's a trick. I'm gonna leave this on. All I'm gonna do is take that one bolt off so that this guy can move. And if we walk over this way, check it out. I can just stack stuff from the top. Oh, even this long ass spring, check it out. And again, small washer that fits inside. You know you got the wrong washer, because that big washer won't fit inside the crevice of this thing. Yeah. Spring isolator, NVH isolator. Alright. Alright, and there we are. No need to take all these bolts and torque all this to spec. Now you know the secret. Another common mistake we've seen with CSP FRP coilover installs in the rear. So this guy, got to use some sort of impact tool on it. Can't be using a wrench, otherwise the whole shock shaft's gonna turn. You actually need the speed of the impact to get this guy on. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So again, got your two rubbers on each side of the sheet metal, my big washer. Alright, so I've used 3/8 and a universal and impact gun before. Today I'm gonna use a right angle. And this guy will work too. Oh, you see it stop, and I'll snug this up a little bit. I can feel the rubber's compressed. There we go. So yeah, got everything together, except I left the top 2 lock rings loose because we're gonna move those either up and down to adjust ride height. This thing's been corner balanced already, so I documented with, again, return of the handy dandy Annex ride height measuring tool. I documented from hub center to a predetermined mark on the fender flare beforehand, so that I can set the customer ride height back to where it was at. Don't mess up the corner balance. Before I told our filmer to start filming, I did this because you know, one of my favorite things, and I think one of the best things about the CSP product, is the helper springs, which increases significantly the amount of droop. Higher spring rates means there probably will be less droop, and so one way to solve that is with helper springs. But of course, you know, your shock body, shock rod lengths all have to match up. Helper springs, you can't just throw them in there and be like, okay, cool, I have more droop now. And yeah, when you see people like 3-wheel, or you hear people talk about I'm picking tires up, it's usually because there's not enough droop, and this guy's literally not contacting the ground, and you're not going anywhere if your tire's not contacting the ground. So yeah, typically when you do a ride height, I got this all the way on the floor. You want to jounce the car, roll it back and forth a little bit so this guy can settle. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Get out our handy dandy tool, measure it, come back. Our adjuster knobs now, so I don't close the trunk and forget. You want to document what the customer set his dampening at beforehand. So I know he set these at 10 from full tight. So what does that mean? So crank this all the way. Well, don't crank it. Lightly click it until it's fully maxed out, and then go back 10 clicks. So when we say 10 from full tight, that's what it means. The cool thing about these, they're rounded off, plus there's areas to grip them, so they're not like hurting your fingers. If you guys have coilovers long enough, you probably know this guy gets stuck sometimes and bad things happen. So how do we prevent this? There's 2 set screws on these guys. 1, 2. So no need to crank down on these guys. I usually grab my little Allen that comes with the Annex kit, and I'll go long ways like this, and just finger tight's good enough because you got 2 of these guys. If you try to do it this way, get leverage and crank down, bad things are gonna happen. So I verified the ride heights at the right rear and the left rear are back at where they originally at. So again, we don't mess up the corner balance of this car. So let's take this wheel off and follow me over, and we'll take a look at these lock rings. Yeah, to get this car as low as we want, it looks like we have to max out these lock rings. We're just gonna use the strength of a man and squeeze these together. Okay. And then the action of these squeezing against each other, these should all hold well enough. And again, 90 foot-pounds on that bottom one against the bottom cut. And there we have it with our Annex ClubSpec Pro properly set up on this X rally car. So much droop that I can fit my whole JDM finger in here with room to spare. I'd like to give a big thank you to Mr. Dirk Edwards for, you know, not only supporting us with the Annex ClubSpec Pro, but allowing us to help out with this car. Like, so special to Dirk, and then so much heritage and history in this car. So yeah, thank you so much, Dirk. We definitely wanted to take this opportunity to film with this car, being as special as it is. If you guys like content like this, please let us know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. Check out more of the channel. You can check out the Annex Suspension Podcast. Appreciate the support, you guys. Catch you guys next time.